Hey everyone, Kyle Mike here from MLive.com, joined by Justin Rogers. We like to keep these videos pretty light in what's going on with football, but Justin and I have, we look at the Greg Hardy situation with the Panthers, and he's such a great defensive end. He's going up against a Lions offensive front that's been in the news this week for injuries and stuff, and Hardy's expected to play. He's probably play well, given what the Lions have going on at tackle right now, at right tackle. But there are, to us, more serious matters at stake here. And Ray Rice has been in the news throughout the week for his domestic violence and the NFL's mishandling of that. But Greg Hardy has been convicted of domestic violence. And if you read the police report, it's frightening what this guy did. Frightening. Tossing this girl around, throwing around a bed of assault rifles, threatening to kill her, I think we're both pretty disgusted by that. I just wanted to get your take on that, Justin.
I wish we were just talking about football this week. Greg Hardy, as you mentioned, fantastic defensive player. It's a great matchup. Everything about this game is very compelling from a football standpoint. But, we don't like to get up on a moral soapbox, but I just don't believe Greg Hardy should be playing this game, and he shouldn't have been playing before this, and he shouldn't be playing after this. I'm not saying he should be banned for life. I don't get into permanent punishment, but there should be repercussions for his actions. I saw the Carolina Panthers owner in a video this week where he was at a public speaking engagement and addressing these accusations, and he started crying. I mean, he started sobbing at the podium and apologizing that the team wasn't taking it light. They were just letting it play out. But, there are enough facts there for the team to take a stand, and they haven't. And the league hasn't, and the league's letting it play out through the appeal process. He's been convicted, he's been sentenced, but there is an appeal. I believe it's after the season's over, and they're going to let that play out. But I just don't know. I have a hard time believing this guy should be, allowed to play football after what he did this offseason.
The NFL keeps talking about getting tough on domestic violence, and 6 games. That's still a joke to me. Sit out 6 weeks if you beat on a woman, but. What Greg Hardy did is every bit of that and more, and I agree with you. I don't think he should be playing this week or any week for the foreseeable future until that's resolved, and I have no idea how the NFL can claim to be getting tough on domestic violence and let this guy still play basically unpunished. And he's representing the league, he's representing the Carolina Panthers, and if you read the details of the police report, it's frightening what this guy did, and I have a hard time watching this game and seeing an amazing football player, but think about him as a football player. I just can't think of him that way.
Right, it's a distraction for their team, but it's more than that, and I wish we could focus on just the football game, but we can't this week. It's a hot button topic around the league for a reason, and it's an important one, and
It's been a hot topic button with the Lions too. They've talked about it extensively. When the NFL revamped its discipline for domestic violence, Jim Caldwell had a team meeting, talked about it, the importance of it. He has a zero tolerance policy that he said. I know that some senators, some female senators, including Debbie Stabenow from Michigan, has called on the NFL to employ a real no tolerance, a zero tolerance policy for domestic violence. Well, that's something Caldwell already has, to his credit, with this team. And we spoke to Glover Quinn this week, and Glover is the player rep for the Lions, and he said it's been an issue for them. They've talked about it amongst themselves, and he wouldn't share too much about those conversations, but it's something players around the league are talking about, and not just domestic violence, but also the NFL's handling or lack thereof of domestic violence, and I think that's been an issue with the Hardy situation.
It's an important situation. I know the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge drew a lot of attention, and that was a good cause too. But I'm going to challenge our viewers out there to maybe make a donation to your local women's domestic abuse shelter in your area. I know I did this week. It's something that I think is just a good thing to do in light of the recent news cycle.
It's Friday. There is a lot of things happening this week. We feel like we've talked about it all. We just felt like this was an important thing to put out there, despite its seriousness. And thankfully there is football to be played on Sunday, and it should be an intriguing matchup. We'll be there, both of us down there in Carolina. So make sure you tune into MLive for all the coverage. He's Justin Rogers. I'm Kyle Meinke.